Shot for goal, shot for goal, shot for goal, shot for goal. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. I'm Stefan Rapazzo alongside Noah Brinkworth, and we are bringing you a show called Shot for Goal. It is a spin-off from Our Best Perspective, a little piece that we used to do at the front and back end of interviews. And now we've got enough to talk about that it's become a show of its own. What we talk about is what's happening in and around Ultimate. And when we get in the off season, we could kind of scrape the edges and look around. And today we're going to look down the annals of history and stick in to the GOAT debate. Noah, how are you?
I'm doing good, Steph. Yeah, definitely feel like it's the off season. It's very cold and I have to be in gyms more than I am on Frisbee fields. But it's cool to use this time to collect yourself, to ready yourself for the season, and also to look back. And I'm excited to look back and we can discuss who's the best player in the world. We're going to do that through looking at some of the best achievements in Ultimate. So we're going to give some credit to Connor McHale here. He asked on his Instagram story a couple of days ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago by the time you're seeing this, what is the most important accolade in Ultimate? Is it
prestigious? What is the most prestigious?
Absolutely. Is it the World Games? Is it a World Nations Championship? Is it a World Club Championship? Or is it a USAU national title? And I think there's people who are going to be in all four camps. I think that for some American players, the USAU national title is more tricky than getting to a World Clubs. But a World Clubs comes around much less frequently. Maybe you
got to win a US title to have the right.
Yeah. I mean,
to represent
100%. And we've had a look through, and we found a few elite select players who have won all four, Steph.
That was the question I posed to Noah. I said, "But listen, for me, it's World Games. It is the most elite. It requires a combination of all of them to get there. Does favor the strongest country in the world, most certainly. But in many people's minds, the greatest player is going to come from America. They've had the strongest history. They've had the most, the biggest playing pool, so the most competition internally. When they take it outside, they win the most as well. So it doesn't strike as a shock to think that we might be considering Americans for this role. But as you said, Noah, you went back and did some research and said, okay, let's start from World Games here and see how many players have got the 4-pack. A World Games, a WCC, a WUGC, or now WC, and a US Nationals. And you posted that on Discord, and I was very excited. I was like, time looks like we've got a show to discuss. We've had a look at a lot of these players. I mean, every name is recognizable. Every career, maybe not entirely, but you go back in and you're like, oh yeah. I remember that. I remember this iteration of this team and why that person. It's funny. Ravi's reply when you posted it on the Discord was pretty good. What did he say? Every player either played Pony, Fury, Revolver, or Mixtape. Oh no, and then there's a couple exceptions. So that's what we're gonna kind of break down here, Noah.
Yeah, and because you have to win all of these titles and the US is dominant, there's some players we've snubbed who are in that GOAT conversation, Steph. Like, we both talked about how much we love Mike Grant before the podcast, and he is certainly in the GOAT conversation. And you know what? He had a really good chance to make this list. He has a World Games back in 2001, the only time the World Games was won not by the Americans.
A correction to my super team post.
How dare you, Steph? How dare you disrespect?
I did know that too, and it's my home nation. Yeah. Benji read it, but I did write it.
And they took some USAU national titles as well in the 2000s. With
3 of them: Furious George, Fear the Monkey.
But elusive for the Canadians was a WUC, World Ultimate Clubs Championship. He might never manage to get a World Clubs, so he's not on our elite list today, but certainly in the GOAT conversation, Steph.
I think Mike Grant's on everybody's GOAT radar. We talked about the World Games. He won that with a dislocated shoulder, is it? An arm issue on his dominant hand, and played the last 2 games with his left hand, and brought a non-USA team to a World Games championship. Incredible, Mike Grant's career, and great story. I think published by B Ultimate, perhaps, on some of the troubles he's had and struggles he's had post Ultimate, but his Ultimate career, one of the best of all time, and he definitely gets a nod for having 3 of the 4.
I think the big GOAT conversations on the women's side are mostly captured on this list, but I think the snubs are potentially the Cardenas, the newer generation. We're talking about those Canadians who managed to get some consistent wins over the American teams in the 2000s. And now there's this Colombian force that ever since the late 2010s into the early 2020s, the Colombians are right there. They didn't manage to capture World Nations this year. They did manage to capture World Clubs 2 years ago, and that helps one of our people on the list and make it onto this elusive group of 4 of all 4 titles players. But I think it's likely, Steph, that one or both of the Cardenas twins finish their career as the greatest female player of all time.
It'd be tough to decide between those 2 as well. You'd have to really be splitting hairs. I swear every other year it's like, no, Manu's better. No, Vale's better. No. It's back to Manu. Could be Vale again. And that's kind of how they go, just one-upping each other with their awesomeness. So they've got 2 out of the 4. They've got a U.S. Nationals with Molly Brown. They've got their WUC with Revolution. They've got silver medals in the other 2, but not quite there. So they would deserve it. I go back old school. I played in Australia a long time. Gak, for sure. He's missing a bunch, but he's got a lot of silvers that put him close. He's never played a U.S. National, so he doesn't have that. But I think he's one of those guys, if he lived in America, there's no 2 ways about it that he would be on this list. He would have got those credentials playing with U.S. teams, a dominant player. But because of this criteria, he's not going to be able, Justin Ford we can't consider, Nass we can't consider on the men's side of things here.
Matsuno.
Matsuno you can't consider based on all this criteria. Noah, you had read a list moments ago of other players that had 3 of the 4. Before we get to the official list, can you reiterate that list of players with 3 of the 4? Yeah,
I've got that list. So the players with 3 of 4 narrowly missing out, and most of them miss out because they missed their club championships. Just comes around every 4 years, and I think that you'll see as we talk more about this that Riot and Revolver had a real stranglehold of this competition. So some players here who are really elite: Alan Nichols, Anna Nazaroff, Carolyn Finney, Claire Desmond, Deb Scheib, maybe, Dominique Fontanet, Dylan Freechild, George Stubbs, Grant Lindsley, Jeff Cruikshank, Caddy Halmos, Kirk Savage, Leanne Hoffman, Mark Saraglia, Mike Grant, Michael Namkung, Opie Payne, Ryan Farrell, and Sandy Jorgensen.
Nice. Good to get the shout out. There's some incredible players, some names that you're reading like, Jesus. Those are some incredible players. There's a bunch of Canadians on there as well, not just Americans when you read that list out. A handful of Canucks. But when you read that list, that's at least 20 deep, I would say. How many do you go? Do you got a number on it? Is that spreadsheeted?
Yeah, I can give you it in a second. I think that is similar to...
I would say it's a couple more than what the list of all 4 is.
Yeah, it's exactly 20.
It's 20, okay. And so that is exactly a couple more. So we will now get to the list.
I want to talk about a couple players who are off this. Hold on a second, Steph. I feel like, what I want to say, big commiserations to Grant Lindsley, because he got those wins with Revolver. He's won the US national title, won the World Games, and he got selected for the 2020 World Nations team. But got COVID and didn't win their title.
That's a tough one for Lindsley.
And I wonder if we see more great play from Rhino and they manage to keep it up, could Dylan Freechild enter this list in 2026 with Rhino winning a World Clubs Championship? It will probably be with his time horizon. He's coming towards the end of his career, so if he sticks around and Rhino stick around as a top contender, that's probably his last chance to claim the elusive World Clubs. But
let's see if it could happen. Saraglia, that name, I remember calling that name in 2012 in a very infamous Japan versus Canada game. He was part of the Canadian Backpack Club in that one. And obviously a great career beyond one game. I mean, Savage was part of that game. A lot of the Canadian names on that were part of that game too. But
there's not a Canadian who makes the list of fours, right? It's all US on the.
Yeah. There's no Canadians on the list of four. The top 18 players we have, all four are all US players.
I've touched with the quadruple crown, Steph, just to give this a name.
Quadruple crown, I like it. The quad crown.
Quad crown.
And did Dom Fontanet, just big shout out to her. She's still doing it. The other thing, she's got 3 and still playing Great Grandmasters, played Natsuo, won a Great Grandmasters title on the beach in Sardinia last year. Wasn't able to follow it up this year. They got nudged out by Spangled. But that's the other thing. Like, okay, we're using the 4 biggest tournaments, but man, you look at some of these players we're going to talk about, and then they got juniors, and they got under 24s, and they got under 20s, and they got college championships. And, it'd be nice to open this up and make it more than the quad, but those quad are certainly the most elite. But, having Canadian national championships on there and Australian national championships, European championships, all this stuff is getting overlooked, but I think quite legitimately. Like, they just don't match up for the level of competition of what these big 4.
Dom is another player who got insanely close. Like, she won World Clubs, won USAU national title, obviously won the World Games, but she missed out on getting the World Nations, just like Grant Lindsley. She played for the US in 2000, where they came 4th. Do you know the story of this one, Steph? I didn't know that the US came 4th in 2000.
I don't know the story on that one. 2000. Where was that? Was in Helsinki? No, Heilbronn.
Heilbronn in Germany, I think.
Yeah, it was. I do not know exactly what happened there. I know that Canadian team called Prime won it. But I do not know how they would have dropped down to 4. That was a while back. I was alive and watching, but there was a whole lot less media coverage back then, and I haven't dug through my history books well enough.
I think some of those, like the men in the 2000s as well, maybe this is part of that generation where the American national teams weren't national teams. They were just the club that had won USAU nationals that year, right?
Yeah, but that year was because that was WGC, but this was even before, like, they were still sending club teams as Canada, as USA. Like, USA, it has in bracket dog, death or glory. Canada, it says Canada, but underneath it says Prime. So, like, all of the teams in that era were WCC style teams. And then I know that US selection became, we'll just take the team that wins national and they can add 2 players, 4 players. Canada did the same. They would take Furious, and Furious would take top 2 or 3 GOAT players. And it was until 2008 when USA lost in Canada to Canada, which was basically Sockeye versus Vancouver, and they were like right over the border in Vancouver. So like a battle they have so many times was a world championship final in their neck of the woods with a couple add-ons for each team. And then I think USA lost that one, and they went all-star, full nation selection for 2012 and won their title back and have not looked back since. And I think every country's followed suit since.
I think a player like Dom would have been, had they been doing that system earlier on, would have made and played for more national US teams, right? Because she didn't play in 2004. I guess she just wasn't on the club that won 2003 US Nationals. 2008, she actually played for France, which is an interesting one. Obviously, they didn't finish near like that close to the top, didn't finish top 4. And then by 2012, Dom was playing in the Masters division and did manage to catch a gold. So I think it's these
she's got to be
players,
the
it's even
closest.
more difficult. Yeah.
Okay, well, with that said, with our honorable mentions left on the table, shall we get to the list now?
Let's get to the list.
And we'll go through this basically in alphabetical order by first name.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start with the coach of the German World Games team. Alex Snyder, of course, a standout player for years and years, Canadian born and started in the west coast of Canada, but it was really when she moved to Southern California and started playing in the Bay Area with Fury, where she became a dominant force. World Games, she's got her WUGC, 2-time WUCC, both with Fury, and 9 USA national titles, 7 straight.
Absurd.
So I mean, boom! There's that's one right out the gates. That is one of the heaviest doses of championships amongst that stat line.
Yeah, she is one of the just. Fury just generates these players, Steph, who are completely stable, skilled all across the field. Absolute legend of a thrower. Was around the sport for so long and is still involved as a coach. And truly, I know it's almost goes without saying, but in the GOAT conversation, I mean,
everybody here is, but I believe that Alex Snyder's quite high in the GOAT conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, do you have an all-time GOAT or do you have a FMP GOAT? And an MMP GOAT it's a tough one if you're given the GOATs out in doubles, I think is the likely way because of the divisional nature of this. We'll say on this list, there are 10 female matching players and 8 male matching players that have the quadruple crown. And Alex Snyder is the first one we'll reveal.
Alex is just such a leader. Captained that team. Captained her way to World Clubs in 2010 with San Francisco Fury, of course. Right, has coached lots of college, coached U24s to their victory on multiple years. So an absolute force to be reckoned with. Her World Games victory was in 2013.
Correct.
In Cali, that one was, right? Was that Poland?
Poland, I believe it was.
Poland 2013. Yeah. But interestingly, Alex played for the Canadian team in 2009 at Cali as well. So she's played World Games for both Canada and the US. That's an interesting one. There was some chat in the ULTI World Discord recently about whether players should be locked to a single nation at the senior level. I was wondering your take on that. Players like Thomas Edmonds, Jack Nissen, and the kind of recent ones who are getting World Games tryouts for both Canada and the US, or the US and France potentially. What do you think, Steph? If a player
as a global
level.
Nomad myself, I mean, I think it limits people's ability to move around. I mean, locked. So I think there should be criteria, like whether that's you're paying taxes, whether you've been a federation member for a certain amount of time. What I don't, passport, having a passport, like there's got to be something like, like my last name being Rapazzo should not be a reason why I should be able to represent Italy if I don't have these other, like, okay, I do have a passport, but and whatever. Where I think the line stretches even more is coaching. And when you see this in World Championship, like in FIFA, even, like the players have to have credentials, but they can bring in any coach they want from any country they want, which is always an interesting one to me as well, where it's like, okay, but is this really Italy winning? Is this really USA winning?
As an England fan, I'm strongly in favour of the status quo there, because God help us if we have to have any more England coaches.
I think it's coming home, though. It's coming home. Anyhow, the general, Alex Snyder, first on the list. Let's keep moving down. Number 2 on the list, no shocker, also played some time with Fury. Alicia White. We dig a little further back into the annals to get a bit of info on Alicia, but once you read it, it's incredible what she's done in the sport. Has a big handful, 2 World Games, 2 WGCs, I think 1 WUCC in 2010, and 7 national championships, winning on either coast, both with Fury and late career with Scandal as well. She's right in this conversation. Another very deserved to be spoken about when we're talking GOAT here, Noah.
She started with her winning early. She also captured a college championship, and as many of these players do. I was actually surprised making this list, Steph, how many players had a D1 college national championship, because sure, they're great players, right? But there's like hundreds of colleges across the states, and at a point, like if you just go to a college that doesn't have the best ultimate team, I would think that maybe you wouldn't be able to capture a college title. But it seems like these players were able to elevate the teams around them, and players who win a lot in their senior career probably got that kind of temperament early on in their career as well. So yeah, Alicia won with California, San Diego, Courted. What a team name. I love the old college team names as well. There's
some wild stuff out there. I was just watching Rude Boys versus Tuna today from 1982. I don't know, but great, crazy names back in the day.
The other
A1 was the nickname of Alicia White, and we were talking about it as part of her Hall of Fame write-up. That the big Nationals final 2008, when Fury were down 10-1 and won that national championship. Not a semi, not a quarter, not a pool play game at Nationals. The final, down 10-1. They won, and at 10-1, their first goal was Callahan by Alicia White to kind of get things moving. Noah, you went and watched that, even said the Callahan itself was nothing too special. Right place, kind of right time. But again, a player who's got a nose for winning, put herself in the right place, and used that momentum to carry the team to that championship.
Yeah, I mean, any comeback from 10-1 is very, very special. Any of these nouveau analysts who look at things like USA Nationals and say that it's a particularly interesting national and make analysis videos about it, Steph, you should just ignore them, because the real big best ever nationals was 2008 women's division. It will take a lot to top that one.
Yeah. Shall we keep moving on?
Let's keep going.
So next, we have our first MMP with the letter A, one of the greatest throwers of all time. I mean, you talk pure handler, throwing gold. He had some great targets, don't get me wrong, but it was a laser launcher himself. Ashlin Joy, and we talked about how many Fury teammates and team members from different iterations we're going to see on the FMP side. Well, we're going to see a crap load of Revolver players as well, and Ashlin Joy being the first on the list. He was, the Bo was his favorite target, but this guy was just an absolute machine. I still remember him playing and winning live. I think the first time I saw him was 2012. Was he on the 2008 team too that didn't win? No, I don't think he was. I'm not sure.
No,
anyways, I saw him playing in 2012 the first time, and just does whatever he wants with the disc in hand. He's got a handful. Noah, tells a little bit more about Ashlin.
2012 is kind of where I know him from as well. I was cutting together The Hammer, which is a podcast, a documentary
with the Aussies.
Uploaded
Tim
with
Lavis.
the massive help of Gus McDonald, who put together all the audio. I just put the video behind that, so I was looking through that game a lot. And what a throw at Ashlin is. Like, the wind is horrific in that game. It is absolutely brutal. There's this absolutely insane downwind OI flick huck he throws that, you just get a bit OI stuff, but you have the nose up and it flips back to completely straight in the wind. So it comes all the way across the field and then sits perfectly straight at the end of the flight. And I was like, wow, that's like one of the most skillful throws I've ever seen in my life from Ashlin. Ashlin's got some great throwing highlight reels, like an all-time flick hucker, right up there with Jimmy Mickle and the like. Maybe above him. Is like easy to make the argument that he's above him. And Ashlin will go down as one of the best throwers we've seen in the sport so far. I'm not sure many players have come in and have vested him as that core center handler stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna. You're absolutely right. Who knows if we're gonna get much more of a all-around thrower who's a great player, but again, did it in every realm. Won the quadruple crown with Revolver on multiple occasions on home soil. On, I believe, 2 occasions WCC, or did he only get the 2010 only?
The 2010. No, he got the 2018 as well. It seems like he didn't play 2014.
Right. He didn't go to Lecco.
Some would say that was a good decision.
He didn't get Lecco'd.
What a savant.
I was there. It was something, that's for sure. Okay. Let's keep cruising down the list.
Last thing to say about Ashlin is he starts the conversation about who achieves this quadruple crown the quickest. He's goes in, like, the first one he achieves is his World Club Championship 2010, and he's wrapped up the World Games by 2013 and solidifies himself on this list. Steph,
so he did it in 3 years.
You are 4 with 2010, 11, 12, 13. I think there's some players on our list as we go further
just
on that managed to wrap
quicker.
it up managed to wrap it up.
But that's he could have got in, got the job done, retired in 3 years, been in the GOAT chat. But he did a lot more than just the 3 years of play. But pretty impressive. He was everything was coming up joy in those 3 years, anyways.
Yeah, awesome name, by the way. And, I think people have a lot of love for like Dylan and Jimmy of that generation, Bo as well. And because Ashlin maybe didn't quite stick around quite so long, like we haven't really seen him post-pandemic at all, we've forgotten how good this guy is, man. He's just as good as those other elite players of the 2010s.
Yeah, no, there's no forgetting Ashlin Joy. He's a bloody legend. That's why we're talking about him in this show. We will move on to the next on the list. Again, moving in alphabetical order. Bart.
Bart Watson.
The Bart man. Bart Watson. I still remember 2012. Had a good chat with him. Same thing. And Sakai, he was captain of the U.S. team that year. And again, another Revolver member, part of the dominance. He was like, there was like, before Bo was all grown up, and that's, Bo is maybe not even older than Bart. I don't even know. But there was a moment where it was like, okay, is Bart the best in the world right now? And it's not Bo. And I'm not sure he totally took over that. But boy, oh boy, do his statistics tell the story that you could definitely believe he was the best at his time. And maybe career-wise, worth believing as well. How many times has he got these wins?
I mean, he captured a D1 college championship early in his career. World Games
2005 and
09. Captain World Clubs in 2010. And then, because he's on Revolver, we then count many, many, many national championships. But didn't just win national championships with Revolver, also came and won it with Johnny Bravo in 2014. And
Jam,
San Francisco Jam, which is like pre-Revolver. I guess that's basically the same team renamed,
but it's 3 teams. It
still counts.
It still counts. So he's got. You're right. I mean, Jam. I don't know what the evolution was there. Like, Death or Glory is not Ironside. Ironside's not Dig. Like, but it's Boston. Like, that's San Francisco
team, right? San Francisco team.
So, yeah, Bart Watson. And
I was watching
WCCs. He was on Lecco when Revolver won. Was he on 2010?
Did he play? No, he didn't play. He didn't play Lecco. He played. Well, he played for Bravo. He got his win in 2010 in Prague. Right?
Okay, right.
I was prepping my Bart Watson knowledge, and the first thing I came across was some old Brodie Smith Everything Ultimate videos where it's him and like a US All-Star team at like 2013 Dream Cup, which is sweet. And like in the back, this is really weird. In the background, there's like all these like people sitting on these big like concrete slopes watching the game. It's like really like cool atmosphere, man. I would absolute love if we could get one day an ULTI.TV camera out there and give you guys a live stream of that, and with a bit of Mount Fuji in the background.
Yeah, it would be sick. Let's keep moving on to our 5th nominee, or 5th recipient of the quadruple crown. The man himself, Bo Kittredge. We talked about Ashlin Joy, Bart Watson, 2 teammates. We're staying in Revolver Town here for the 3rd player in a row. And Bo is kind of a man who needs no introduction in the realm of Ultimate. It all started with Bo jumps over a guy back in his Colorado days. Iconic. I mean, for me, that was like the first time Ultimate broke the internet. That was the first time like people who didn't play Ultimate were like, hey, did you see that guy who did that thing and jumped over that guy playing the sport you play? And of course I had, and it was
this like pre Brodie Smith era?
Yeah, I believe so. Bo jumps over a guy, goes, yeah. I think that goes way before Brodie Smith.
Really? I didn't know that, man. I didn't know that it captured attention in quite that way. I mean,
Bo jumps over a guy, goes back 18 years.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's got 391,000 views. 229 comments even. And you start looking at the comments and the first thing you see is, in quote, did I go over that guy? Like, that's the best part of it. He was just such a raw athlete. Like, he just went up, roofed this dude like balls
Poor
on the
guy.
guy's forehead and barely realized that he did it. Like he was like, I just go over that guy, ask the question, then threw the score. Now, I heard this when I was young, and I've never done my research to find out it was true, but I heard Bo Kittredge was a NFL football or American football receiver and played at University of Colorado Buffaloes, and maybe had got cut or was like, on like a second string and wasn't playing. And that's when he started playing Ultimate and was like immediately good. Obviously, if you're good enough to be like anywhere close to an NCAA football roster, you're a skilled and talented athlete. And
you can jump over a guy.
You jump over dudes. No looking back. Bo, I mean, he did it all in San Francisco, ended up moving to New York at the end of his career, won with the Empire, played Pony too.
But first, it's all about the Colorado days. First of many players on this list who Colorado Mama Bird alum, big school. Like you even talk about when like Alex Atkins talking on his podcast, Pod Practice, being like, "Oh man, I like needs to get myself out to Mama Bird." A lot of other people who have come on Pod Practice said like those players like Bo and Jimmy and that sort of lineage has led to them wanting to go and find
go to their alma mater and take a little piece of the historic potential that comes with being part of Mama Bird.
100%.
So yeah, Bo. Started in Colorado, then went to SoCal. It's not even SoCal in San Francisco, Bay Area, whatever. Mid Cal. It's more NorCal. But
finished his career up in New York as well. Played some season of Empires, bit of Pony.
He's still playing beach mostly, but he'll be on European sand. I was going to say soil. He'll be on European sand this year. Look out! Make sure you're watching the streams of Paganello and Copatanga. There's going to be some. Actually, there's a handful of players that are on this list that you will see playing there. That is crazy. So, anyways,
we can't wait to show it to you.
Not my super team, but another super team, and I'll hear more about that as we go. But Bo Kittredge,
Steph, if we think that the World Games is maybe the biggest accolade, Bo's got 3.
Bo's got 3.
I'm not sure if there's other players with 3. I think there might be 1 or 2.
I don't think so. And I mean, spoiler alert, but we're going to talk at the end who our opinion is of who might be the GOAT. And, well, spoiler alert says it all that maybe it's my era. Maybe it's just he is and has done the most. But just like for somebody who really sucks at throwing, that's mean. Like he doesn't suck at throwing, but like there's everyone on this list is a better thrower than him almost. But because of his speed, his leaping ability, his sure-handedness, and like his conservativeness with the disc, I mean, his completion percentage is really, really high. And just like the bigger the game, the bigger the spotlight, the bigger he played. And that, one that is undeniably in the conversation, whether we quantify with the quadruple crown or not, Bo Kittredge is like, parallel with saying ultimate Frisbee if you know anything about the sport.
Yes, indeed. Let's move on to our next person on the list, Seth.
Yep.
A player you've played with before.
Indeed.
Out in Australia.
Australia, mate. And not when people thought he was in Australia, because he played for Colony in WUCC and got a silver medal, him and his running mate. But Chris Kocher was in the Gold Coast prior to that and played for the Slamtown Flatball Club, a club that I was the coach, captain, and founder of. And we were like, whoa, who is this dude? And he was fresh off the Next Gen Tour at that stage, showed up. We won a crazy tournament against a crazy team full of Australian dingoes and firetails and crocs. We had a very good team ourselves, and then we put Kocher on, and everybody's like they couldn't figure him out. Kocher, same thing. Like, he was like the guy on that next gen team that was like, I don't know, he was on there, but he wasn't the best out of all those guys back then. He was like a middle of the pack guy of the next gen guys. And the longer his career went, the better he got. He started as a speed guy with massive ups, but not the tallest guy. So he could roof people and it would look more impressive, but he would still have a tough time in the air against taller dudes. But his speed, incredible, athleticism, incredible, getting horizontal, incredible, and over the years turned into an absolute elite thrower and distributor as well. Kocher, talk about, we know he won with Pony in Cincinnati. He's got 2 World Games, and he's going for his 3rd, I believe.
Kocher comes into a different tier of this conversation if he makes the World Games team again, and as we expect them to do, the US win. He is aged like fine wine, Steph, post Next Gen Tour. I mean, he was very good early on. Like, if you look at the extracurricular wins, Steph, I mean, Kocher's got a great list here. He's got a YCC championship back with Atlians from Atlanta, played at Padea School. World Junior Championship, U20s.
That's also the name of an Outcast album.
What is?
ATLians.
ATLians.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I guess that must be why the name's that. One of U24s as well, has won World Beach, 2 World Games, World Clubs of Pony. Didn't quite get there in 2018 with Colony, but that could have been such an iconic. I mean, it's an iconic loss, even. Like that.
Yeah, that was and that was the weirdest situation too. Both the semi and the Storm against Ring, was it? Mm-hmm. Who'd they knock out in the semi? No, it was Double Wide.
Oh yeah.
No, I can't remember, but I think it was Double. Anyways, and then the final against Revolver in the Dome in like the Storm recuperation. And a wild game. That was a great game. I was definitely pulling for Colony. A lot of guys I played with on that team, starting with Chris, but also Cupcake and Abra and a whole slew of the Aussie crew as well. So I was pulling for him, but a nice win there for Revolver and company. And but Kocher, I think. Thing is, he's got years left. He got another silver medal at U.S. Nationals this year. Like, you put him on a team and you get a chance to win. That is like quite simple. Like, you and I talked about World Game selections. I think I had him in, you had him out for next time. But again, if this is his 3rd, this is 12 years down the road from when he became elite, and he's staying there. Like, there's not many people. Very few, maybe 1 or 2 on this list that have pulled that off.
100%. He is a legend of the game, Steph. We've got to keep moving, though.
We do. We've got
a lot of people to get through here.
Okay, so FMP, Claire Chastain, another legend of the game, who, when you posted this list in the Discord, I was like, what? And I opened up Chastain's bios, a couple ULTI pages, and I was like, she's only ever played for Molly Brown for club. I don't see any other teams. Where the hell did she get the WUCC? And well, Ravi figured it out again. Love having our Frisbee nerds in the chat, and I was there. So it was not that long ago either. But of course, Claire Chastain, one of the external pickups for Medellin's Revolution when they won the club championship. But Chastain's been, winning on multiple levels. She's actually got more WGs and WUGCs than she does WUCs and national championships.
Yeah, I mean, national championships have been real hard to come by for her, more than maybe like the Fury players or the Riot players. But super impressive that Molly Brown were able to get over the line in 2022. Also the same year she won the World Games in 2022. She was an alternate on the World Games team in 2017. And she won a World Ultimate Guts Championship this year in 2024 as the captain of the women's team. I think it's nice to have Chris and Claire together because both players who have aged like fine wine. And I love that Claire has a different kind of route, spending a lot of time in Colorado to get these wins, and a real player who has not managed to get onto this list by being in biggest ultimate hubs like San Francisco and Seattle. But I mean, Denver's a great place for ultimate, but it really feels like each of those wins were really, really, really a big part of. Chastain was a big part of why that happened.
Another player to look out for when you're watching Paganello Copatango.
Interesting. Should we move on?
Let's keep pumping them through. Potentially the best player in the world at the moment, I think by many people's estimation. Yes, there are two Colombians that people would argue with if we're talking FMP, but maybe overall just best player, most dominant in their division. Claire Troup is just a force to be reckoned with, playing currently for Scandal, but got her WUCCs with Brute Squad. I wondered if Riot, she had one as well. Claire did play Riot back in the day, but I believe it was Brute Squad where the championships came for USA Nationals.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, of course. That gets the. Now I'm looking WCC Brute Squad.
She got her WCC with Riot in 20...
Yes, that's it. So Claire has Nationals with Brute, World Clubs with Riot, and currently with Scandal. And then, of course, a handful of World Games already, or only one.
Just the one.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, for
a shoe-in for this one. If sure. The only shoe-in, I think, on the list.
Yeah.
I think that's like, when you do selection, Matty Sang's got a nice job. I still remember him telling me it would take a moron to not win a championship with the selection pool I've got. And I think one of his friends told him that. So
the thing is, Steph, with Claire Troup, it's just like she's won all of this stuff so quickly in her career, right? She won a World Juniors U20s championship in 2018. 2018, Steph. That makes her, what, if she was 19 then, she's 25 now, like 26 now, maybe.
Like Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, just incredible.
Yeah, it looks like 2017 was Riot. By 2019 to 21 was Brute Squad, and since 2022, Scandal. But yeah, the amount of... The amount of accolades Claire Troup has picked up in that short time is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I've just got to run this down, Steph.
Claire Troup was the best player at WUCC in the final. Again, like you can maybe argue the Cardenases, but they lost. Claire Troup won. That's still a tough vote for me. But
I thought she was the best player at US Club Nationals this year. Like she's unreal.
Yes.
Like I just got to run down these achievements, Steph, because I think that thinking extracurriculars beyond the four, she's got the four, but beyond the four, she's got almost everything else you could ask for. She's got YCC in the U20s, like many YCCs. She's got 3 of them. Then she's got a World Juniors in 2018. The same year, before she was even had to play U24s, she won U24s with the women. Then she goes and gets her club championship. Then she wins another U24s in 2019. Then she goes and gets her national championship, not World Club, but now USAU national championship. Come back from the pandemic, she gets the World Games. Then 2023, out in Huntington Beach, she gets a World Beach Championship. And then this year, last year now, 2024, she got her World Ultimate and Guts Championship, World Nations Championship. So I can't even think of another thing. Like, I think the only one she didn't get. Oh no, she got a D1 college championship as well. Part of that Dartmouth team, her and Jack Fazoo and some other amazing players on Dartmouth at the time. That school, Steph, is a D3 school, so they have under 7,500 players, which means normally Dartmouth would play in the D3 division because they have such a strong ultimate program and players like that. They managed to play in Div 1 and win Div 1 with players like Claire and Jack Fazoo there. So, like, Claire Troup is really building a GOAT conversation career right now, and there's just two Colombians who are going to get in the way, I think, perhaps. But all three are going to be in the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, there's Ultimate's such a young sport to talk about OAT, all time, the at. Greatest per generation is still worthy of chat. All time is what we're talking about here. It's a short history, right? Like it is, and the first 10, 15 years were so poorly documented. Is Kenny Dobbins part of the conversation? Is Cribber part of the conversation? Like before World Games existed, like they didn't have a chance to get the quad crown. So it's a small lens that we're putting on this, but this conversation's got to start. It is worthy. We're not the first ones to have it. That's for damn sure too.
Yeah.
So let's keep moving on. Claire Troup, definitely one of the best in the world right now, and with these stats, one of the best of all time already. Next, we get another FMP, another Fury member, another that I have played with. And again, it was in Australia, but Cree Howard moved and spent some time there. I think maybe 2012, maybe a little prior even. It was a while back. But Cree played mixed for one game, or played women's for one game, mixed for maybe 2 weeks, and then just played open and played with the dudes and was one of the best on the field in the Brisbane Premier League at the time. This was before Slamtown even, and it was I was playing with Stephen Cameron's club, the Dojo Mojo, and Cree was dominant. I remember going to the beach with her. She'd come down to the Gold Coast, and we would just huck to one another. And I could throw. I'm a pretty strong thrower. We would just back and forth.
Can confirm Steph can rip it deep.
Yeah, and so we're banging it back and forth, and we would hold our own kind of thing. But her resilience, she told me at the end, she's like, I was just trying to throw to keep pushing you back, and by the end of it, I was getting tired, and she wasn't, and was just hucking and pushing me back on the beach at Palm Beach, and okay, so that's how I know her, but how the world knows her is just her run with Fury. She has been a leader. She's been a role player. She's been a defender. She's been a initiator. She will do whatever it takes to win, and she can play every position on the field. She is a do-it-all player. Fury, countless titles. Did you have the number?
I don't have the number, Steph, but what I do have is the gap between her first and her most recent title.
Her most recent was this year. She's still playing.
Disgusting.
Children on the sideline. And her first was 2014, so it's a decade. More. Her first was what, 2012?
Nope.
Tell me, Noah.
2008.
2008, she'd already won a national championship?
Hell yeah.
16
years from her first to her most recent. She could go and get another one, Steph. She could just keep playing another year.
I mean, she's definitely capable. She just won one. She is as fit of a human as I've ever known. I loved seeing her win World Games. I find like Worlds with WGC, they had that epic. In 2012, did Japan win or did USA win in the tight one? Now my brain's playing with me. 2012.
Japan won. But she played 2008 Worlds as well. Nations. So she won in Vancouver.
With Fury. So she won then. So does she have... How many World Games?
One. She was an alternate in 2009, and then she won in 2013.
Okay. So she won in Poland.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I still remember one of the poorest, but I felt bad for Cree Howard when Russia won the World Beach Championship.
World Beach 2019.
Yeah, Cree was on the field and it bounced off of her head into the hands of Kochanova for the game-winning goal. Or was it Kochanova? Yeah, I believe so. Anyway, I may have the game-winning score wrong. But yes, it like literally bounced off the back of Cree's head and like macked up and game-winning goal. I mean, that was just the finishing touches on the game, but that would be a tough one to kind of have to. And then I'm like, is it that tough when I look at the rest of this resume that you had to deal with one?
She won enough.
Yeah, I think you're doing all right, even with that one as a strike against.
So how many national championships has she got here? 3, 4, I think 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just 9. 9 national championships.
Just 9.
Just the 9. Just the 9.
Cree Howard. Absolute legend. Let's keep moving because we got lots to cover. We're about halfway through. Next FMP.
Georgia Bosscher. Let me go. I didn't know like a great deal about Georgia Bosscher before this. She was a player that I was like, I know Georgia's like one of the best players ever. But I didn't maybe like put her in maybe I didn't realize just how elite she was with players like, Alex Snyder and Cree Howard and Kayla and all of these players. But then Steph,
spoiler alert.
By the way, shout out to USA Ultimate Inside Out little interview things. I don't know if you watch any of these on the build up, but they're like just really nice little like 2-3 minute interviews before the 2017 World Games with the World Games players, where they interviewed every player, and it's just a really nice like little insight to all of those players. So I was Googling
did not get to the interviews. I was mostly doing reading rather than video watching.
Yeah, I mean, she's got 2 World Games. She won World Games 2013 in Poland and in 2017.
In Cali.
Yeah, and wait, what was 2017? What 2017 again? Cali?
Yeah. And then she's got
No, we've got wait. I think 2017 was Poland. 2013 was Cali.
No.
What was
I thought Poland was before Colombia.
No. Yeah, no, Wroclaw 2017. Poland came 6th. My bad. Anyway, I got derailed. What you should watch is Georgia Bosscher warming up for the World Games US team versus World Games Canadian team, Poultry Days 2017.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Steph! Like, wait, I might actually just have to send you this because, like, it is maybe the best Audi I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen a lot of good ones.
Yeah, but Steph, you're not gonna believe this one.
Have you sent it to me?
I've sent it to you on Discord. Can you check your Discord?
Yeah, I'm on Discord.
There you go. This is Unbelievable. We'll put it in the video as well.
From behind. Oh,
it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's dirty.
It's disgusting.
Like, that's shoulder high. That's like around the back with body contact, not making contact or avoiding. Here's the slow mo. Jumping from the left side of the body. No, starts left side of the body, steps to the right, shoulder high, avoids body contact. Shoo. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's dirty. It's nasty, and the Canadian player calls foul, and it's not really a foul. That's a brutal foul call, but that is so clean and so good.
I said, but hang on, you were right, by the way. It is Colombia before Poland. I was wrong, so I apologize. Anyhow, so yeah, Georgia Bosscher, another, besides that World Games highlight, of course, handfuls of Furies, National Championship 2011, National Championship 2010, WUCC 2010, National Championship 2009, Callahan winner 2009, Junior Champion 06, World Junior Champion 04, like same thing, just riddled in accolades. And I believe I read married to Pat Shriwise, another ultimate legend. So that if they have children, look out for their offspring, because they will have some incredible, an incredible foot in the door for being able to play this game.
Yeah, she's unbelievable, Steph, and captain, like a big leader and captain, right? Captained back at World Junior Championships days 2006. 10 years later, captains the US women to another win in 2016. So it's pretty cool. Georgia Bosscher, bit of a boss, a boss, I was going to say, but then the Bosch came out. And you should, I think all of these 2017 World Games players, you should go watch their Inside Out interviews.
Yeah.
USA Ultimate did. They're just really, really lovely, and it's nice to get a little insight about all these players. They've got ones of her and Kayla and Bo and Dylan and everyone who was on that team.
Cree. All right, let's keep moving.
Let's keep going.
FMP, Gwen Ambler.
Riot legend.
Riot and dabbled with Fury.
Oh, really?
I believe. Yes, not dabbled, like multiples. Multiple seasons. Like, so I love this page. Like, now the Hall of Fame page, they're all like different. They're laid out differently. Some of them have stats, some of them don't. Some just have a write up and a story. This one has a great write up for championship tournaments, U.S. national championships. So I'm just going to read the first place ones, but 2003 won college. 2003 Club Women with Fury. 2006 Club Women with Fury. 2007 Club Women with Fury. 2008 Club Women with Fury. Then she takes a couple years off. Actually, that is it. Then a lot of bronze medals with Riot and silvers with Riot. And then wins a U.S. Nationals as a Masters, playing for the Baylands kite flying team in 2015. Then you go Worlds, and she's got WGC Vancouver 08. She wins it. World Games in 09 in Kaohsiung, Chinese Taipei. She wins it. Lecco with Riot, she wins it. So she wins her WCC with Riot, even though the bulk of her nationals were otherwise, and then gets another Masters gold at London in 2016.
And also
we're not counting as the quad, but still.
Yeah. Also coached Riot to another WUC clubs win in 2018. So.
Yeah, do we count that? I'd say no, because we're talking about the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, I don't think coach accolades counted. I think I kind of remember that there was a player with 3 and then had the coaching And I was like, nah, we're not.
It is a world championship. You don't get stripped of that, but when you take that world championship into other conversations, it does not apply the same.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen Ambler.
More of a handler type, right? Played across the West Coast and like in the GOAT debate for sure.
Yeah. Part of Fury's strategy committee in 06 and 07. And then became the captain after they kind of worked out that rookie of the year for Fury in 01, offensive MVP in 03, defensive MVP in 05. Another one who just do it whatever. Maddie Sang quotes, Gwen is the best deep to ever play the game. So maybe a handler, but maybe deep in junkie zones.
Perfect place to go though, because then you're at the back to.
I mean, that's very. Right? That reminds me of Tom Regacki, an incredible handler, and he can go deep. But defensively, if you just leave him in the back and you get a turn, and then he can pick it up, that's what Gwen Ambler would have been doing. Again, I got to watch more of the Gwen Ambler highlights, but a shining resume.
You talk about the Fury strategy committee. I met Kayla, who, let's skip Jimmy and just go straight to Kayla now, because that's just a skipping of one place. And I met Kayla back in 2018. One of the things they were asking, a little Q&A section, I was at a cut camp in St Andrews, was like how their teams did selection and coaching and selection for their teams every year. And it's interesting that Fury, like at the end of the Fury year, you elect the Fury committee and captains, right? But then they are the only players on the teams that are locked in for next year, right? And so you're voting for those players to get onto that committee, not just to lead the team for the next year, but they have to play, like they're locked. That gives them a locked-in roster spot, so you've got to pick your best players. And then they're going to be picking amongst you and all of the other trialists for the next year. So I think a lot of other teams lock in more players. Like I know, like Clapham, for example, in the UK, is like the whole thing. If you can't really get cut from Clapham, it's just when you get on the team, you're on the team. As long as you meet the standards of what Clapham expects from you, you're on the team for life. But it's cool to see.
I think now, if I remember my Irena Scazzieri best perspective interview, that if Fury wins the championship, everybody has a place the next year unless they choose to not be on.
Well, that's an interesting incentive structure as well. I like that.
I believe she said, we won, so everyone will be back on the team unless basically the older generation want to retire, or I guess if somebody's moving or something. But if you're in California and you can meet all the training requirements and you won a championship, you get your spot.
That's a cool system to do as well. It's a nice little wrinkle.
So Kayla Helton, 2022 World Games, in the running for sure for the upcoming. 2016 and most recently 2024 WGCs, one women's, one mixed, or both mixed?
She played mixed in 2024. 2016 she played women's, no? Yeah.
2016 was WGC. Yeah, London. I think she did play women's.
She's got it in women's and mixed. That's a pretty cool.
She's got beach as well, of course. Well. So she was Fury for her WCC and her national championship. Now, of course, she's gone now to SoCal. I can't say flip side is San Diego, and she is switching it up and putting that team, maybe not putting them on the map, but making them contenders. And they are, they're probably one of the teams that pushed Fury the hardest over the course of this whole season. And that tends to happen with your closest rivals. They know you the best. They play you the best. But yeah, Kayla Helton.
Honestly, Steph, I didn't know her career went so far back. I was stressing there for a minute. It's when did she get her World Clubs? But World Clubs in 2010.
And Santa Barbara Lady Condors, like one of the original, like the Condors, Santa Barbara Condors, one of the original elite clubs in the sport of Ultimate. So, she was playing back with them in 2007, but that's like a great way to be introduced into the sport, is to be, to play for, one of the meccas. Like it's like Marquez Brownlee started at Columbia High School where Ultimate was invented. Okay, the Santa Barbara Condors are like, have you ever seen the movie I Bleed Black?
I have not, no, but I've heard about it.
One of the original like films of an Ultimate season about the Santa Barbara Condors. Worthy watch. It's good as far as the history of Ultimate media goes. I think that's an important movie. And for Kayla Helton, she reaps the benefits of learning again from one of the meccas. I'm sure there were some great elders around to instill everything she needed to become one of the greatest of all time, to secure herself the quad crown.
She's also had a little foray into Pro Ultimate, which we haven't talked about yet. It's been played in the WL. Hasn't managed to claim a championship, but has been the WL MVP before, I think. And
that's the other thing we haven't talked about. Like I think I mentioned other tournaments at the top, like European Championships, Australian Pro Championships, AUDLs, UFAs now, and Poles and Wolves. Again, we're not counting them, but
counts towards the GOAT debate. They all count towards the GOAT debate.
Yeah, they all these are the extras. Okay, next on the list, we'll go back up now because we included Kayla to keep talking a bit of Fury. Now we'll go back up in alphabetical order and talk about Mr. Super Team, the Tokai Super Team, formerly known as, and potentially to be.
What else did that guy do, Steph?
Okay, yes, he did a fair bit more than Super Team. Jimmy Mickle, for me, high in the debate. I think, I still remember seeing Jimmy play for the first time in 2013 in Toronto for under 23s when he won it there. But, he was on the radar as, the next gen guy. Okay, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 guys, but at the time, even right from a young age, you talked about him already when you talked about Bo and you talked about Mama Bird and Colorado programs. Jimmy, best deep forehand the game's ever seen. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean,
it's between him and Ashlin, but
again, I think Jimmy just took the power to the next level. Like Jimmy, I just think he's got every throw that Ashlin's got, and just a little bit more spin on that disc. He's got the big hands. He fires that forehand. Jimmy Mickle, and hey, he's trying out for World Games right now. He got an invite because he was on the team last year. He kind of got snubbed from Worlds. Jimmy put on some weight. There's, no two ways about it. I know that's been his focus. He has been fitness focused, try and get ready. He's got such a drive. He's such a humble, quiet speaker, but when he speaks, people listen. He is a great leader of athletes. And did it with Pony, did it with Bravo. Did he win with Bravo? No.
Let me check. If you, by the way, what you say about Jimmy's a soft-spoken guy, I would recommend. Well, I've plugged those Inside Out interviews, but Jimmy's is one of the best as well. A little insight into him. We win with Bravo. Yeah, he did 2014. Part of that Bravo team. We won there. There was someone else on our list who also won with that Bravo team. Maybe it was Bart Watson. I'm not sure.
Anyhow, Jimmy, and okay, so you talk about him as a pure thrower, but
if you haven't watched Mama Bird Next Gen era Jimmy Mickle, and you've only watched like Pony era Jimmy Mickle, you guys are missing out, right? Like if you don't understand the Jimmy Mickle thing, go and see like Bravo 2014, some like Mama Bird, like early 2010s. Go watch some Next Gen.
But even like his early World Games, like his first World Games was Cali.
Definitely played Poland 2017.
Yeah, Poland.
No, I don't think he played Cali.
So he played Poland. So he's only played 2?
Yes.
I mean, he was the best player in the world, I thought, in Poland in 2017. I thought Jimmy, that was his team. I mean, it's his team. World Games team is never anyone. It's an all-star team. But he was the most dominant player, I thought, at that time. He was still at a stage where he was getting a lot of his powerful cutting. I mean, Jimmy, his box out space is incredible. Like his receiving range is great because he goes up high, he goes up hard. Like people hear those footsteps coming, kind of get out of the way and cower. And he takes a lot of space going up and gets up. The big man gets up big.
Dude, he was good for like Colony 2018 as well. We were talking about Kocher. He was one of the best players there. He was so sick.
Probably MVP of the tournament in that, he lost, so maybe wouldn't have got it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Jimmy Mickle was the best player there. He was bloody awesome at Cincinnati 2018.
You have to understand the narratives of those 2010s as well, because it's like, Bo comes along, he's like an elite receiver, but he's clearly a limited player, right? He's just unbelievably good as a receiver. But, as a thrower, he's not so great. Bring on, a few years later, same school, Colorado Mama Birds, Jimmy Mickle shows up. He is just the same threat, people think, as a deep receiver. But when you push him under and you get him on disc, he's just as good as well. So it's like, there's this guy, there's all of the deep potential of Bo Kittredge and one of the best throwers in the world. What the hell do you do against this guy? I think longevity wise, I think Jimmy's become more of a pure thrower in the back end of his career. There was a time when his cutting ability was proper top of the game. Is it as good as Bo was? Not really, but with the
comparable, but no. I think with that, as that comparison goes on, the answer is no. Bo was better. Bo was faster, and could get up bigger and stronger. But yes, it's comparable. Like it was like, whoa, this guy is a prototype of what we once saw here, and he could control the skies. There was not many people who could jump with him, and get up with him for a very, very long time.
Not many players, Steph, get to be the undisputed greatest player of a moment. And Jimmy was around 2014 to 2017. And like, not many other players are so good that they knock everyone else out of that conversation. Like, I'm not even sure there's been a definitive best player in the world in the men's side since Mickle. Like, I think there was a time... There was maybe a year where people coalesced around Jack Williams. I think there was quite good agreement around 2022, but it wasn't for as long a period, and it wasn't as agreed as it was with Mickle.
There was like a little bit of a Kurt Gibson moment in between Bo and Jimmy, but I don't believe that it was long enough of a dominance. He was still too much in the Bo era and in the Jimmy resurgence or growth era. For me, there's been 3 GOATs in the men's division, 3 eras of GOAT, and it's been Mike Grant until it was Bo Kittredge, until it was Jimmy Mickle, and we're waiting to see what's next. And there are lots that, again, it depends on some of the longevity, and it depends on some of the fresh uprisers to really cement that next spot. But for me, that it's those 3 in sequence that have been dominant, the best, dominant, the best, dominant, the best, and there was not many people who question. Let's keep moving.
I'm just checking here. I was like, wait, have I missed Jack Williams from my list? As I'm like, I can't think of what he's not won, but no, Jack Williams was playing ring, not for pony in 2022. So he came second at that World Club. So he's
missing the walk. So he was on the 3 list, and he was he? Did you mention him?
I'm not sure. Where have I even got him on my?
Let's keep moving.
He's missing a work as well. Nations. He didn't play Nations this year. Didn't play Nations 2020.
Oh, right, okay, and cool. Didn't go back all the way to London
2016. I mean, he's still in college. They're playing for ULTI.TV.
Right. Okay, Khalif. Our first MMP, our first player to have secured 2 of the 4 in the Quad Crown as mixed. I mean, all of these players get mixed with their World Games because it's the only way it goes. But he's actually got 3. He's got 4 of 4 are mixed. Most are 1 of 4 or maybe 2 of 4. Khalif, pure mixed player, Seattle mixtape through and through.
Dare I say the greatest mixed player of all time?
But I mean, I think these facts speak for themselves. I mean, Khalif only nominates for mixed, making World Games clear indication that he could well make the open team for WUCs or WGCs in the past. Could make most rosters. I mean, could very clearly go and play sockeye.
Can he play super team?
Super. Khalif would be a nice addition. He's certainly trying out for World Games, so we'll see what happens first. I know Super Team will be eyeing some snubs, but there's even just snub hunting is a difficult selection process in itself. So going back to Khalif, though, I mean, I think you're right. Dare you say? I think it goes without saying. I don't think he's going to emerge from this getting my vote as GOAT, but I think he will emerge from this getting my vote as mixed GOAT. And, proof is in the pudding. He's got the Quad Crown. 1 World Games? Just the last
Just
World
the one,
Games?
just the one, 2022. Most recent.
2 WGCs.
Yep, 2016, 2024.
Yeah. And 1 WUC.
Yep. In 2018, mixtape came 5th.
Right.
And I don't think he played 2014.
Wait. So which one did he win?
2022 mixtape.
Yes. Yes. I was coaching at that one. I remember.
And they did actually big as well over Red Flag in that final. That was really like
destruction. I did actually.
None of the other mixed teams were good that year. They were like mixtape were a long way better than the next best team.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Back into our Revolver talk. We've got 4 remaining on the list. Mac Taylor. Another, like I said, one of the Revolver stalwarts, big man, a little bit of a do-it-all for Revolver. What are his stats at? What's he got, Noah?
He first won the World Clubs with Revolver in 2010. Same year he won the National Championship with Revolver. He won again in 2011. Then he got his World Ultimate and Guts in 2012 and had wrapped up World Games by 2013. So Steph got into the game in 2010, got out of it, didn't get out of it, but had won everything by 2013. Not that he didn't try, as a couple USA National D1 seconds with Mama Bird, also a Mama Bird alum, like many of the players on this list. Won Nationals again 2013, played in for the mixed team in 2016 for Nations, won Beach on the mixed side in 2017. I actually saw a cool highlight of him, I think, jacking it deep to someone else on our list, Sarah Meckstroth, in the World Beach final of 2017. And then he's been playing Masters since then, a couple wins with some San Francisco Bay Area teams, and won the World Beach Championships a couple years ago in Masters as well. So
is Mac Taylor the other one that won with Johnny Bravo?
No, it's someone.
You do think it was Bart?
About, right? I'm not sure, but there's someone else who won with Bravo in 14. I'll go hunt that down, Steph.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a player that like maybe isn't the most well-known player on this list though. I would say that like Mac Taylor is a player that I definitely didn't know a whole bunch about going into this exercise, but maybe I should know more about him because his resume is pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's done it all for sure. He's got the extras as well with San Francisco Flamethrowers, even in the old AUDL. Like you got a title there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mac Taylor doing it all. Let's keep moving down the list here. Another one, like you said, Mac Taylor, maybe not a number one name on the list. I think the next one as well is kind of the same, but Nick Stewart, another revolver player. When they were taking these cores of players, one of the top players on that revolver team, which was a dominant team that won handfuls of national championships. But Nick Stewart got himself the 4-pack. So what's he got here? He's got playing history, career highlights. He's got gold in 2016 in London for the nations. He's got college championship back in 2011. He even gets juniors in 2010 and 2008.
Sick.
And then like revolver and sockeye, but one and Sub-Zero for club, but did most of his championship winning with revolver. And what year is his? Was he 2017 World Games?
He's 2017, yeah. And Steph, the thing about Stewart is he does get the crown of doing it the fastest. Fastest you could possibly do it. He wins the World Nations 2016, World Games 2017, USAU National Championship with Revolver 2017, and then gets the World Clubs in 2018. So just over like 24 months from his first of the quadruple crown to his last of the quadruple crown, and it's like that's like all he got as well, right? He really did get in and get out. That was
really get the job
one
done,
nations, one World Games, one national title, and one World Club title. So
yeah, over 200 stitches in his life.
Oof.
So he runs with reckless abandon, and I kind of like that. He's a big unit. Looks like a tough dude. Nick Stewart makes the list in the GOAT chat. 2 FMPs remaining. One more known by nickname, perhaps, but I think both are very well named. Sarah Griffith. I think still very relevant for the coaching that she does at every level, club levels, national levels, under 24 coaching, a bit of everything. But Sarah Griffith, before a coach, an absolute axe on the 2013 and 2017 World Games teams. By my record, just 2016 is the only nations championship, or has she got other ones that I didn't come across?
No, I think that's it.
2014 and 2018, she got lecoed, but at least got out of there with a gold medal for her WUCs. So she's got one with Riot and one with Fury. And then her national championships, I believe, both come with Fury.
Yeah, that's correct. Correct on both counts, stuff.
So yeah, I mean, incredible player.
It's part of like a few players on this list who did a bit of Riot and a bit of Fury, right? I think that's like the route to this quadruple crown in the women's division is play a bit for Riot, play a bit for Fury. hopefully you pick the right years, and also you could probably influence by being one of the best players in the world ever. And yeah, I mean, Serge is like seriously tough player.
Yeah, unstoppable, super tough. I mean, the mental aspect. I still remember I got to interview her in between games at under-24s in Nottingham, and just like, how are the U.S. going to be with target on their back? And she would just, stoic kind of responses, one game at a time, and all the right things, and all the, we tell our girls this, but just very calculated, determined. She's got an intensity about her. And again, I say it a couple times, but proof is in the pudding. She just wins wherever she goes. She won in the Dome in 2018. She just keeps winning. Win. That's all I ever do is win, says Sarah Griffith. Surge.
Are we ready for our final player stuff?
Yeah. Guesses? Those of you out there, say it now.
I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue, audience.
It's the only
she won
other
her WUC in the mixed division.
The only other that to go along with Khalif that has WUCs and national championships. Are her national championships in women's or mixed?
She won
DNTs?
Women's this year.
Yeah.
Not this year. Again, I keep doing that, but 24 she was on the women's side.
Yeah. No, for WGC. No, but what are WCC is just with drag and thrust. So who are we talking about? We haven't said her name yet. Say her name.
Sarah Meckstroth.
Sarah Meckstroth. Another highly touted candidate to make it again this year, 2024. The World Games team is what we're talking about, of course. I think got the bulk of her victories mixed as far as her club season stuff goes, with Dragon Thrust, and played women's for the U.S. national team, as Noah just said, in 2024. Got the win there, but she played under 23s back in Toronto in 2013. Played again in 2015. 2016, she was on USA. Was that mixed or was that women's? The last Worlds before Gold Coast.
Mixed.
She's got mixed. One mixed, one women's. So that's where she differs from Khalif, I guess, in not being pure mixed every single championship.
But she does have mixed for all of them, right?
Yeah, she does have at least a mixed in every category, but she just does have a single gender in some categories.
It's Mex or Khalif if you want to, for our mixed goats.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the two of them.
But for sure. I mean, again, if we're giving out per gender, they each get one, but are we just giving everybody a participation medal? And I'm not sure it goes like that when you're awarding per dividable division.
I mean, Mex has played some really high level wins as well, right? Like she played Rally Phoenix for a few years and was a great team. Came third, was the best performance at USAU Nationals. And it's obviously this year in 2024. This year, oh my god, not this year. Last year in 2024 was just amazing on that USA women's team. I also think that for me, she was maybe the best player of the 2022 World Games. I know that the Claire Troup lovers are going to come for me in the comments because she was also very, very excellent. And so is Claire Chastain. For me, it would between Meckstroth and Chastain as the best on that 2022 team. But Mex was awesome, and as like a big deep receiver, I think there's a clip of her skying a dude in. I think she skies
Alex
Spiegel.
Gann.
Oh, is it Gann?
Maybe Spiegel as well. I thought it was Gann got skied by her. Maybe she multi-skied dudes.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty nice with it, as the Americans like to say. So yeah, she gets absolute scalps in the deep space. So still kind of looked as good as she was 3 years ago. Back in the Gold Coast. So for me, she's on my team. I'm not sure if I think I put her on my World Games theoretical team for the US. I really rate Meckstroth.
Yeah, me too. I think she was on my theoretical team as well. I think can't coach height, and that's not to say that that's all she's got, but because she's got all these tools and just a target to be desired for any shooter, you know she's going to win those matchups. Whatever.
She doesn't turn it over as well. I've analyzed all the turns from the World Games, and I did not say Sarah Meckstroth is named that much whilst the US had the disc at least.
Well, that does it for the list, Noah. That is 18 of the quadruple crown recipients. Shall we quickly put an opinion out, and then we'll let the people in the chats respond, comment, and put what they think. But let's give it, without too much debate and analysis of our opinions, give me an FMP and an MMP GOAT. You can narrow it down a little bit for us, but no, let's leave this one for the comments.
Mike Grant gets very close, but it's Bo Kittredge. Female matching player is really, really tough. And Alex Snyder gets close. And I think Claire Troup's got pretty close. I think Claire Chastain's close. I think that Kayla Helton's pretty close, but my GOAT is Manuela Cardenas.
Manu.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
know it's an all-time thing, but
he goes away from the list. We build this list, and then you go away for the GOAT chat.
Look,
I have a hard time disagreeing. I thought we were going to choose from this list, but I like that you've gone away. Like, Opie Payne is one that's not on this list that is still in my GOAT receptor. Alison Walker, Canadian, was awesome. Snyder, certainly high on the list. But now that you've said it, I can't go past Manu either. I think now I suck because I'm going to pick the same as you. It was always going to be Bo for MMPs for me. Bo is just, I don't know. He was, again, it could be the years of nostalgia of me being, man, that guy's the best. He wears the same number as me as well, number 50, Bo. So yeah, I've always loved Bo from the moment he jumped over a guy. And so, probably like if it's not Manu or Opie Payne, if I'm picking from this list, I'm going with the current, and I'm saying Troup is going to trump everybody else on the list. So I would be Kittredge, Troup, or following Noah and Kittredge, Cardenas. That's about all. We've had a nice long chat, Noah. Good work on getting the ball rolling and coming up with that list. I give Noah little jobs like, hey, what would this list actually look like? And a day later, he's posting stuff in the Discord. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the chats. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to ULTI.TV, and promote us for all your worth for the efforts that we're putting through. But mostly just come back for more. We'll let us know what you want to see and watch and talk about, and we'll happily bring that kind of stuff up. But yeah, Noah, it's pretty fun to talk about the greatest of all time, isn't it?
Awesome to talk to you, Steph. It was a real good time.
And with that said, thank you very much. We'll be back with more soon. Catch you next time.